What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to talk about two things today. I want to talk about the debt ceiling because this is very, very important. And we're coming down to about 2 weeks. So 13 days that we're looking at right now where they need to extend this debt ceiling. They need to do it before this 13 days. If not, then we're going to default. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about COLA. So I'm going to show you guys an example. So if you, let's say you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security beneficiary, VA, and you make a certain amount, I'm going to show you an example of the average person receiving Social Security and how much they can anticipate receiving when it comes to this raise that we'll see in 2022. So those are two things we're going to talk about today. But first off, on this channel, we talk about news that matters. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the debt ceiling. So when we're looking at the debt ceiling, we have about 13 days. If they do not address the debt ceiling and extend the debt ceiling, we're looking at a default. And if we look at a default, that will hurt our credit rating across the world. And so it's basically like if you have a credit card and you spend on that credit card, well, you need to pay for that credit card, right? And if at the end of the month, if you don't pay for that credit card, it will hurt your credit rating eventually. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to the debt ceiling. It's the same thing. Now you'll hear a lot of politicians, or at least some politicians, talking about this and saying, well, we spend too much money. Okay, that's true. I think everyone can agree that the government spends too much money. And you have politicians that say the government spends too much money. However, this money's already been spent. So that's what we're focused on. Not the money that will be spent in the future, but the money that's already been spent. Are you going to address that, or are you just going to let that default? And so I want to show a clip here of Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he's talking about this whole debt ceiling thing. And basically what we have is we have Democrats and Republicans fighting against each other. Big shocker. This is something that happens all the time. But this is a situation where they both spent the money. So you have Republicans spending the money, you have Democrats spending the money, but now the Republicans are saying, you know what, we're not going to pay for it. If the Democrats want to pay for it, they can go it alone and extend this debt ceiling, but we're not going to do it. And so this is a big problem, and obviously it needs to be addressed. And so in this clip, Mitch McConnell is going to be talking about the procedural vote that will happen tomorrow. And so in this procedural vote, the Republicans, they don't need to vote for extending the debt ceiling. All they need to do is say, you know what, we're going to get out of the way. We're going to allow Democrats with a majority vote. 51 votes will allow them to move forward with this extending of the debt ceiling. So I have a bill that focuses on that. But Republicans don't even want to do that. So not only do they not want to vote to increase the debt ceiling, they don't even want to vote not to filibuster a situation. So not allow the Democrats to vote that way. What they want the Democrats to do is they want Democrats to add this to the reconciliation bill. And that's going to be a problem because you already have the bill created. And if they need to add this to the $3.5 trillion bill, it's going to take time. And you might not be able to do that in that 13 days. So the easiest process to make this happen is if Republicans just say, you know what, we're not going to filibuster. We'll vote against filibuster when it comes to this bill. And once they do that, Democrats can go ahead and move forward. So let's go ahead and take a look and listen to the clip. Here we go.
The easiest way to do that is through the reconciliation process, as I've pointed out, for 2 months.
How is that easier than Republicans just not filibustering and then passing it with 50 votes?
That would require getting consent from every single Republican to lower the threshold to 51.
Do you not have the power to do that?
I can't imagine that would happen.
Now, Mitch McConnell is the minority leader, so if anyone can get it done, he could do it as the leader. And so this is a sad situation where you have Republicans, not only do they not want to vote to increase the debt ceiling, but they also want to block Democrats from voting to increase the debt ceiling. And so it looks like at this point, we could potentially be looking at a default because of that, because they don't want to get it together. So just remember, this is your tax dollars at work. I mean, we are paying these politicians, and this is what we're getting in return. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, these are the facts. This is what's out there right now. And so I don't know where they're going to go with this. I really don't. And I'm hoping that cooler heads will prevail and the Republicans and the Democrats will come together and they'll go ahead and move forward with increasing the debt ceiling like they've done year after year after year. But at this point, we're going to have to follow this story and see where it goes. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about and I want to show you is, and let me pull up this this illustration here. I want to talk about COLA because I've had a lot of people ask me about COLA and what is the increase going to look like. We don't know exactly what the percentage is, but at the present time, 6% is what we're hearing a lot. So 6%, 6.2%, maybe high fives when it comes to the percentage. And we'll find this out hopefully by next week. The talk is right now, the analysts are saying that next week is probably when the Social Security Administration will come out and give us that information. So let's hope that does happen. Now, if we're looking at 6%, if we're looking at the average that we're hearing, so 6%, the average senior receives $1,559 monthly, okay, the monthly benefits. So if we're looking at those numbers, the increase would equal to $93.54, and that would mean that your monthly payments in 2022 would be $1,652.54. So that's on average. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that this is not a guarantee for everyone, but the average person on Social Security would receive $93. Now, obviously that's going to change for people on SSI, SSDI, because they're different limit thresholds. So I just wanted to put that out there. I have had some people ask me if they're on Social Security, what are they looking at when it comes to an increase? But you can also do the math with your top line number, whatever you're making monthly. You can do that 6%, and then you'll get it kind of a ballpark number there. Now, let me remind you that 6%, that is just an estimate at this point. That has not been confirmed by the Social Security Administration. We will hopefully find out more next week when it comes to that. And as soon as that comes out, I will make sure to put out a video. Within hours of that coming out, I will put out a video. So make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification. Now, when you hit the bell notification, it will notify you. So when I put a video out, it's going to notify you that I put a video out so you'll know exactly what's going on when it comes to Social Security. So those are the two top stories that we're looking at today. And it's amazing when it comes to this debt ceiling. This debt ceiling can really, really affect us in a negative way. And we're talking about loss of jobs. We're talking about if we're defaulting on the government, that's gonna hurt businesses. That's gonna hurt our credit rating across the world. So we don't want to be in this situation, but we are facing a situation like this because you have Democrats and Republicans that are just not getting along and not wanting to move forward. And the saddest part about this is in the Trump administration, they raised the debt ceiling 3 times. Democrats came on board with the Republicans, but at this point, we're looking at Republicans that they don't want they're drawing the line here. They're drawing the line here when it comes to extending this debt ceiling and cooperating with Democrats when it comes to that. Now, I want to know what you guys think about this. So in the comment section, let me know down below. And just let me know how you feel about this whole debt ceiling thing. Do you think this is something that will eventually get done? It'll get done right in the 11th hour, right before the 18th? Or do you think this is a situation where Republicans are really not going to move and they're just going to leave it up to Democrats? And if Democrats don't do anything, then we're going to go into default. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.